Bois de Moi, which we've seen. Not as focused as this. This is what hurts.
Yeah, it hurts, but probably the hardest part is over the top of this climb. That's where you can do most of the damage. You try to ride up this climb as conservatively as you can at this stage, because over the top, we've seen on the previous times, that's when the major damage has done and the gaps start to appear.
Damage, most certainly. Look at them. Real Trojans, and they're performing for us today. Feline just comes up towards the line, and some of those who've been very lively today, unfortunately, no longer, and aren't, just going backwards ever so slightly. Who looks freshest? Well, it's hard to gauge, to be honest, because nobody looks fresh right now, and in fact some of them looking like they wish they were elsewhere. Here's that other group way down the order, I'm afraid, and this includes Van Baal, who was there yesterday. So there we go. Got a lot of work to do tomorrow to Gerardsbergen if he's going to retrieve this, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. These guys bouncing up this incline. They're listed as the chasing group. It's just a handful of seconds, and this group's surely going to break apart. I thought it might be now, but they're right at the very limit of their resources. 17 or 16 seconds out to the two men up front, which is Rogers and Geske, with 26 to go. Next climb peaks out at 22, so they deal with this. They come through the Primus sprint, and some have been burnt on a stove such as that. I'm afraid that looks like Ulysses' day is just about done, on this incline at least.
You can just see some of the riders have moved across from the Kelderman group to the BMC group. Rogers and Geske just looking behind, but just being distanced, just hanging in there as a white jersey of Kelderman, as Bakelans decides to accelerate. Over the top of this climb is where gaps start to appear. I think the race is going to be won and lost over the next few kilometres now, because there's a lot of tired bodies out there. Bakelans really pushing hard now, but Rojas and Benoit are now being distanced. So Bakelans, Feline, Van Avermaet, Wellens, and Wellens, you know, a really worthy winner last year, is really hurting a lot of these riders.
He is, and he's bridging over, and this is Rogers and Geske, who are just about to be caught by the looks of things. Still staying there, Tom Jelte-Schlachter, as you can see in the green and black. This is Wilco Kelderman, and he's been hurt by the day and the constant rolling attacks that have mainly been led by BMC. Will they get their reward today? Either Avermaet or indeed Philippe Gilbert. We'll see. 25.8 kilometers to go. We'll take a break, and we'll be back for the next climb and the golden kilo. Oh dear, Kelderman struggling here. We've had a flash of lightning, and boom, no, not Lars, Bakelans. He has decided to attack these guys. 23 seconds, just a little bit too much, and in fact that gap has absolutely been bitten into. That's the gap to the leader's jersey. That's Kelderman struggling 23 back, but any moment now you're going to see hove onto your screen, Jan Bakelans, who's on a charge. It's been animated behind as well. Unfortunately, Kelderman has been isolated, and he's got his problems. Here, an effective fighting force, but surely road running out for everybody. 23.9 kilometers to go. Worst climb of the day has been dealt with, but the Col de Rue Bois de Moi is coming up right now. At the bottom of this dip, they then head upwards. So one of the downhill streets, and then back up the other side. Tim Wellens looks very, very lively for Lotto-Soudal. Van Avermaet and Philippe Gilbert are still in the frame. There are others here as well, and Fabio Feline looks dangerous and has almost been anonymous. Here we go. Take it sensibly as you come into town, and then race down and out and up the Côte de Rue Bois de Moi. They're there before you know it. And then, of course, there's the bonus seconds of the golden kilo, the golden kilometre, which is also going to reveal itself. In they come, and our climb just beckoning. Wellens it is that bridges over, not Jan Bakelans, who looked the most lively, unless he's shot by while we've been on that helicopter shot. Tim Wellens catches them on the descent, takes on one of the last climbs of this circuit at least. He's going into the golden kilo, and now he's essentially going into the lead. He's stretching his legs. The man who wears number 1 is riding like a leader of this race. And is he going to be denied? Geske has been caught, so has Michael Rogers, but more importantly, others behind who looked very lively only a few moments ago. Jan Bakelants has really, he attacked and is now paying the price for that, I'm afraid. And up ahead of him, the Lotto-Soudal group, it's all mix and match. It was on the descent, and I think Jan Bakelants got himself into trouble at that point. Here is Tim Wellens then, striking out right now, and Geske's smiling. I don't know what his team is saying to him on the radio. Go Beardy, presumably. 22.5 Ks remaining. In fact, they'll be in the golden kilo, and I suggest that it might well be Wellens that takes all of those sprints. Let's have a look. At the moment, I believe that Jan Bakelants got into trouble for AG2 à la Mondiale. Slow down, they're all saying. A wobbly moment, surely, and there it is, proof positive.
Yeah, he came off in that corner there, and that's why he went from the front to the back. I was just about to say that, you know, when they're attacking down this descent, it gets very slippy.
Look at the debris on the road here. They've had a lot of rain has come through, and this is Tim Wellens reaching out for glory. There's Chase Benoit. He's way back, and indeed with Wilco Kelderman, who's been forced to bridge so often that finally I think that bridge has collapsed. He's gone backwards. This man's going forwards. He wears number 1. He's riding like he's going to take this as a back-to-back championship. He's got to ride through tomorrow's pavé sections over the Flandrian roads, of course. But right now he's stretching his legs, and indeed he's stretching the gap between himself and everybody else. Not only is he going to get over this peak, he's going to go through the golden kilo, which beckons 3 intermediate sprints. He's only 19 seconds down. He could do with those 9 seconds. And there is our overall leader. Brave battle. He's being encouraged by the fans around, and you can see he's not alone in his struggles.
No, he's battling, and he could be, in fact, make it back. Benoit makes it back to the front group. But who's going to chase Tim Wellens? Tim Wellens did this last year in this particular stage. Okay, be it somewhat different stage, but he took the leader's jersey. He started the day 19 seconds behind the white jersey of Kelderman. As Carlton says, there's 9 seconds just in front of him. If he takes the 9 seconds, then there's 10 seconds between this man here and Tim Wellens, and Tim Wellens is on the attack.
He is on the attack, and if he wins the day, all the bonuses will come his way, and essentially his time will be matched, or he will match Kelderman. And of course, if he does take the line, you can imagine there's going to be gaps there, and he could well be our race leader, teeing himself up beautifully for the grand finale tomorrow of this great race, the Eneco, where we take the classics, we mash them up, and then just enjoy the feast that comes later on in the season. It's a great way of keeping the classics men happy and giving them a stage race to play with and giving us some great entertainment. And what a feisty performance by Kelderman. This man, though, I believe, is going to head through all the intermediate sprints on his own. They start at 20.5 in about 1,200 metres time. Tim Wellens, what a great time to go on the attack.
Yeah, a bit of a deja vu from last year. You can just see Philip Gilbert wants some help. Tim Wellens is down the roads, and it does look very good. Simon Getchka has been distanced by Wellens. Can he make it back? It does look as if Wellens will be taking 9 seconds en route towards the finish. Will he hang on? We'll just have to wait and see. But Rogers and Jules Jensen still in this group at BMC are again being distanced. And just remember yesterday, Tim Wellens went on the attack with Greipel. Greipel paved the way for this attack today, because he set up himself with only 19 seconds to make up, and he looks as if he's going to take 9 of them away in the next couple of kilometres.
Here we go. This is a man in his element, and the elements at the moment are pretty damp, as you can see. There is Geske, nearest man to him, but not that far behind will be the chasers now. In fact, the leader's jersey, as you can see, is 25 seconds adrift, and still he turns the screw here. Tim Wellens is doing a fabulous job. Into the golden kilo, it's beckoning right now, and 9 bonus seconds. I don't think Kelderman's going to be good for any of them. Well, a little bit of play acting, maybe, not quite sure. This is Van Avermaet on front. There's Philippe Gilbert. He said he had a technical, but he looks okay. Maybe he's just running out of energy and would like to get some kind of food before the 20k marker. 20.5 remaining, and he's in the golden kilo. Not this man, that's Geske. but Tim Wellens, who's up the road. There is the chaser, and he takes 3 seconds bonus at that point, the first of the sprints of the Golden Kilo.
Van Avermaet's coming up here past Getschke, so Van Avermaet could be taking the 2 seconds here. Philip Gilbert not that far behind if they can connect with each other. Wellens is just a matter of 20 odd seconds in front of these guys, but he is picking up these seconds every 200 metres pretty much. He's picking up another 3 seconds time bonus.
There we are. It's just separated by 350 metres thereabouts, this Golden Kilo, and 3 intermediate sprints to be enjoyed, and the bonus is there in 3, 2 and 1 seconds. So let's just say that Van Avermaet comes through in second place on all of those. He's going to find himself 6 seconds as well, which will help his course. He was 26 seconds down overall, so he'll be 20 at the end of this little sequence. Another bonus going to Wellens on this Golden Kilometre. Wellens building up the bonus seconds through the Golden Kilometre, and likewise Greg Van Avermaet, who's picking up 2 seconds at every single one of the 3 intermediate sprints which are crammed into that kilo. And Gilbert as well is just sailing through them, cruises over the line there and says, no, I'm not going to attack my teammate. Wellens still going for it. Will it be between Wellens and Greg Van Avermaet for the run for home? Once they're through this Golden Kilo, they then have to take on the Côte d'Achouf. It's 800 metres at 8%. That's the most difficult test that will remain today. And then the Petit Mormont, 400 metres at 5%. And then finally they can think about racing for the line. It's been a long time coming, this, Brian. 208 kilometres in total. They've already had a very, very busy day.
It is, and it's a hard day. You know, when you're going on the attack like Van Avermaet, you're not really distancing a lot of the riders. You just see Feline takes the last of the seconds on offer. So Feline of Trek Factory Racing just takes a 1 second bonus. This is the man leading the way. He started the day 9 seconds behind. He's already taken 19 seconds. 19 seconds behind. He's already taken 9 seconds, so he's 10 seconds off the overall lead of Kelderman. Kelderman is not in this group. He is. You can just see the yellow helmet. So he's made it back into this group behind. The finish bonuses could really come into play. 10, 6 and 4 on the finishing line as well. So Van Avermaet is now within 20 seconds after taking 6 seconds in the Golden Kilometre. So it's still a lot to play for now.
It's Bacalance that goes for it, and Julian Alaphilippe is trying to stay in touch with him. They're still wrestling each other. The man wrestling the road at the moment and just trying to get over as best he can to the man who's up the road, Tim Wellens, last year's winner, wears number 1 by right, and indeed he may well be wearing the leader's jersey at the end of today if he carries this home. Van Avermaet would be a handy ally for him to have. Meanwhile, further back, as you can see, the race is still on. Geschke's refound his legs. Tom Gelter-Schlachter there in the green and black of Cannondale Garmin is still in the zone, as it were. 31 seconds, though, this late in is a goodly gap. But is Van Avermaet starting to struggle? He looks like he is rocking and rolling, and that's not a good sign at this juncture of the day. Tim Wellens doing a Sagan-style descent at the moment on this gentle descent right now to the foot of the Côte d'Achouf, and that comes with that peaks out at 15.4 k's to go, and the rain looks like it's going to wash back in again.
Yeah, you can just see that Van Avermaet is just in front of the group. Schlachter is trying to chase down, and Benoit has made it himself back here. Gilbert at the back, Feline is in there. The Kelderman is safely in this group, but will he have the leader's jersey at the end of the day? It'd be an absolute miracle. This is the rider that done it last year in this stage, went on, won the stage, took the leader's jersey and defended it in the final stage. But it could still all change. It's only a matter of 30 seconds from Wellens back to the main group here. But it does look as if the main group of Kelderman, nobody wants to really ride, nobody really wants to commit. The teams that should really commit here, Astana have to commit 1 because they've got 2 there, and also Tinkoff have to be involved, but they don't seem to be wanting to help each other.
The gap's extending, 34 seconds now to Wellens. How many cobble sections tomorrow, asks John Beetle. 12 indeed to be taken on tomorrow over the 188.6 kilometres. Those are the roads that feature in the Tour of Flanders. The Ronde, well, we're looking forward to it tomorrow as we head to Gerardsbergen. It's the grand finale, and if the last couple of days have been anything to go by, it's going to be enthralling. Nasty weather hanging around. I understand it is brightening, however. We'll see, as we are solidly in Belgium for all of those pavé sections tomorrow. Greg van Avermaet, he's 21 seconds behind Wellens.
He's lost a few seconds,
yeah.
20 seconds now, so he's still hovering between about 17 seconds and 20 seconds, but he's still not across that gap. This group here is a further, you know, from the front to the back, 35 seconds. Kelderman, he's got 2 climbs to go, an 800 metre climb and a 400 metre climb. Tinkoff and Astana, if they want to give themselves an opportunity tomorrow, they have to try and commit themselves. You can just see Griffo, come on, we have to keep involved, keep the time gap down, because tomorrow is another day. Anything can happen tomorrow. Kelderman needs to start riding a little bit as well, so he should be up there saying, come on guys, stop looking around, just let BMC and Lotto-Soudal sit at the back, but we have to kind of help each other, keep this gap down and see what happens tomorrow.
That to me looked like Philippe Gilbert just imparting a bit of wisdom to Julian Alaphilippe from Ethics Quickstep, telling him how to go for it, I imagine. This man though didn't need telling, he just did it himself. And they're starting to cheer his name, and I'm not surprised. Greg van Avermaet, 25 seconds down. Is 15.4 Ks enough for van Avermaet to get back in? You have to find some strength that seems to be deserting him at the moment. 26 seconds now, with the leaders jersey group now at 41, and so Wellens is extending the gap, Brian.
Yes, and he sat in that group, as we already noted in the previous lap. He was sitting there, he was being quiet, he was saving his energy. Well, this man on the right of the scene is green, Van Avermaet, was showing everybody he was on the attack, showing, you know, not wasting a lot of energy, but showing everybody and putting a lot of energy into these attacks. And it does look as if it's he's failing now to go across to Wellens now. It's now 32 seconds.
He's drifting back 32 seconds, and so not that far. These guys are going to have a view of him, and it's a big push on right now. And it looks to me like it's Juul Jensen, the Dane. I was trying to allude to him earlier on, but the Dane has gone for it, and I'm afraid that Geske looks like he's just drifted to the back. A man who I think had his chance today but lost it after taking a tumble on the descent, Jan Bakelants, still within this group as well. So is Kelderman, just behind him Slagter. And everything these guys try is, I think, being washed away, I'm afraid, in the rain. And Andrei Grivko looks like he's run out of batteries, quite frankly. There we are, just going flat as the road kicks up and does anything but. It really has been a rolling area, this. It's big in mountain biking, Houffalize, as I'm sure many of you know. 56 seconds, though, this group now back from Wellens, and Van Avermaet 33 adrift. Van Avermaet, his gap is holding, but I'm afraid that Wellens looks as if he's actually used his energy absolutely wisely today. Yeah,
this is a super ride. Last year it was maybe a little surprise to many people that he actually won the overall. He's come back here with the #1 in his back. Andy Greipel paved the way yesterday, helped him and put time into his rivals. Today he's just decided sit there and pounce at the right time, and you just see this chasing group now almost a minute down, and they don't really want to help each other, they want to attack each other. And if I was in there, I would try and encourage them to keep riding, because tomorrow's another day, and if they can keep this gap down to a minimum, then there's an opportunity tomorrow.
Juul Jensen was 48 seconds down at the top of the day, and he's decided that it now is the time for him to have a go. Is he drawing out Slagter? Can't quite see who that is from the helicopter shot. And meanwhile, Greg van Avermaet 35 seconds in arrears to Tim Wellens, who's holding the gap. Now, Wellens did this last year, and he's a great man at managing his own resources and just turning on the power when he needs to. And you can see water's got where it shouldn't in that particular camera. I'm not sure how effective that's going to be in illuminating the day. It doesn't really tell you much. I'm afraid he needs a swap. There you go. Should have put the camera cape on earlier than he did. Van Avermaet 36 seconds down. It's the only pictures we've got from this particular angle, so we're going to have to use it. I've got to say that Kelderman has refound himself by the looks of it. Geska's here, had a little break, and now he comes to the fore and has another go.
Yeah, Geska's nowhere in the overall. He'll certainly be moving up today, but he's just thinking of the stage win. But going on the attack now, it's going to be very difficult to catch the flying Wellens in front. He won the race last year. Looks as if he's on to do the double this year.
And this pursuit group have essentially given up. They're all taking swigs of energy drink or water, whatever they've got in their bidons. And Tim Wellens, I think, has been allowed off the leash. Van Avermaet 37 seconds adrift right now. I think it's enough for victory, and Tim Wellens is going to be our leader. Yeah,
it looks very much like this. Another tough day tomorrow, but he held on last year. Number one on his back, and everybody was thinking that there's other good riders in this race. Would he be able to do the double? And this even the first time when he broke onto the scene, when he signed his contract, still some idiots on the side of the roads. He signed his contract, and in his first major race, in the Tour of Beijing, he finished 10th overall. So he's always going to be a good rider. He rode the Tour de France. He never done anything, but the strength that he got from finishing the Tour de France is showing it now.
Certainly is. He's taken that form. Of course, he's been not exactly resting easy, but has been spinning the legs when he needs to. And right now he's doing exactly that. They come through Vibrin, and Geska decides to try and chase down Van Avermaet, who is at 39 seconds adrift. And we may well be able to pick out Van Avermaet. I haven't seen him for a little while. Maybe that camera's... indeed, as if by magic, we do find him. But 40 seconds now, so Wellens continues just to march into today. And there's a man who just wants this to end, frankly.
Yeah, he's had a difficult day. He's come out here and showed everybody that he really wants to try and win, and was constantly on the attack when we hit the finishing line for the first time. Constantly on the attack, jumping on everything, and all that wasted energy when this man here just sat down and just played the waiting game and pounced at the right time.
Clever boy, and he's ours to enjoy essentially on this race. And he comes up to the final peak. This is the Petit Mormont, and Brian, it's essentially mostly downhill all the way for him. He's earned this.
It definitely has. Could have gone various ways, and BMC coming into today must have thought, right, there's a good opportunity with Gilbert and Van Avermaet, and Gilbert was keeping it quiet. Van Avermaet was doing all the attacking, but he's just coming up short, 41 seconds. And as we look a little bit further back, I'm sure this chasing group could be on him before the finishing. Just in fact see Getchka on his way across, and the other group just behind him. So Greg Van Avermaet could be caught and could actually end the day empty-handed. Okay, he's taken 6 seconds on the Golden Kilometre, and he's only 20 seconds off the overall lead. But that's going to change now, because Wellens is down the roads, and Wellens is already 40 seconds in front of him.
He has flown the coop. Look at this. He's enjoying himself. Wellens, he's only 24 years of age. He won this race. It was kind of a great unveiling, I guess you might say, but he'd had some other good results. The Stir last year as well came good, and other lesser races, I think you might say, but good result in the Paris-Nice this year, finishing in 10th place. And runner-up on a couple of stages in the Giro d'Italia last year, so he's been waving his flag loudly, but has been relatively ignored despite his Eneco Tour victory. He wasn't amongst the favourites either, and in fact that's slightly disrespectful, as he finished 12th in the individual time trial and 4th yesterday, we remind you, to Sittard. Le Bon taking that, and Van Baal, and so he was gunning for bonuses, didn't quite get it. Nielsen for Orica Greenedge took that last 4-second bonus at the line, but Wellens was clearly coming back to form, and today he made sure he was where he needed to be, took the step forward, and in fact right now he's just ridden away Van Avermaet at 39 seconds. It's a slightly closing gap. I'm not surprised. At least he can sit on it to a certain extent. 10 Ks to go, but it's not the most punishing terrain he's had to deal with today, and I think he's going to take the day.
Yeah, it's looking more likely. 10 kilometres. There's really no firepower behind. There's no real chase behind Van Avermaet is just kind of holding about 40 seconds, but only a matter of 10-15 seconds behind is that chasing group. As you see, the Lotto-Soudal car just moving up to join Wellens in front, and Simon Getchka is only a matter of 5 seconds behind Van Avermaet. So this is going to be a very good day for Wellens and Lotto-Soudal.
Fabulous, and to my mind this was teed up by Greipel's work yesterday. He did a superb job of sacrificing himself essentially on the climbs that we had, plenty of them as well. 15 bergs to be dealt with, and Greipel sailed up there and allowed Wellens to preserve his energy for today. That energy preservation went on, something not copied by Van Avermaet, who constantly rolled it on the attack. He had no choice because Kelderman, our overall leader, was close at hand. Well, he is now paying the price. I'll be bound. The camera just lingers and waits for Getchka to show himself around the corner, and the white jersey group is a minute back, and so they have not exactly given up today, but they've decided to accept the situation. I think that's fair to say. 18 seconds the gap from Van Avermaet back to the Kelderman group, but this man is 42 seconds clear, and he's heading for victory, Tim Wellens, and well designed, I think it's fair to say, by a wily and clever team.
It certainly is. He finished 129th in the Tour de France. Nothing really to kind of shout about. His best placing was in 76, or he finished 76 twice in stage 5 and stage 3. So, you know, it's what he gets out from riding the Tour de France that is paving the way for this victory today, and possibly overall victory. But he went through the Tour de France just ducking and diving, never did anything exceptional, but he's using the form that he got at the Tour de France to pave the way to a very intelligent win today in today's stage.
42 seconds now. He's not going to get caught, and barring anything untoward in one of these wet corners, he will bring home not only the stage win but take the lead of this race. You saw that Jan Bakelants from AG Tour La Mondiale, who took a tumble coming into town, so let's not count our chickens just yet, is also just pushing away from the Kelderman group. Likewise, Tom Jelte-Schlachter from Team Cannondale-Garmin, so expect them to be well featured when we get to the finish line today. It's a very late finish, very late indeed. In fact, they were supposed to come in about about 40 minutes ago. This race was supposed to be at an end. It's been a slow pace, but a good one for this man. 7.8 kilometers only now, and it's a 44-second cushion, and it's going to be enough. He can time trial, he proved that, finishing in 12th place. What about in the time trial as part of this race, and what about Van Avermaet on that day? Well, could have and maybe should have gone a little bit better. Tim Wellens finished in front of some very, very decent time trialists, and indeed made it count, and in fact that's where he's built his assault as part of this Eneco Tour, and he could get his just reward. Here comes Getchka, just finally managing to get over to Greg Van Avermaet, and I suspect he may well attack him as we come into town. Getchka is not about to give up this day. Runners-up spot is not a bad result for Getchka, who's been used to quite a bit of success this season, and he would like a bit more. Not going to happen for him as in terms of a stage win, unless, of course, Wellens takes a tumble. 7Ks to go, 43 seconds. I think Wellens can just afford to not exactly ease off the gas, but take maybe safer lines than he'd be minded to do otherwise. Here's those two that came out of the Kelderman group, as we mentioned earlier, Bakelants and Schlachter, forming their own little partnership to get a top 5 on the day, and I suspect they will. Great effort by this man, and you know, you don't just win it in one day, and he's been building up he's been assembling his results rather quietly, I think, and now surely has to start tomorrow as out-and-out favourite to repeat his victory here. Yeah,
you think so, and you know, you're going to tomorrow's stage with a healthy advantage, and certainly a strong team, and you know, we'll have to wait and see if there is any abandons within his team. But you know, the thing is, Greipel has had his stage win. You know, they've done a lot of work looking after Greipel and Wellens. That was noted in the first 3 stages. Wellens did a good time trial, kept him within striking distance. They rode well yesterday, and you know, put himself right in the prime place over this weekend to deliver another win. So the plan has been going fantastic for them, and tomorrow it looks as if they'll take that white jersey into tomorrow, and I think they could defend it quite easily.
I think you're right. So 5.8 Ks to go and 45 seconds, absolutely solid, no encroachment on that time at all, and Geschke not minded to push on terribly much either. And he's nursing Greg van Avermaet at the moment. Geschke in the black and white of Giant here. Just Debbie Hill reminding us that it's Lucien Bleot was the 90-year-old gentleman with the soft drinks hanging them out. Nice to see Lucien still functioning and indeed offering up sweet drinks to all and sundry. Chalkboard has been washed a number of times today. It's not exactly looking that clear. But one thing that is on this very muggy day is that Tim Wellens is going to bring this one home today. How do you see tomorrow panning out then, Brian? What sort of strategy will be engaged by Lotto-Soudal? I think they can possibly afford to go defensive.
Yeah, they'll be more than happy. They did it last year. They defended the leads. Tim Wellens is in good form. It was hard for a lot of riders yesterday. Today, I think, is probably the hardest stage. Really difficult for a lot of riders. They really attacked it as soon as they came across the finishing line for the first time, with just under 70 kilometres to go. It was really tough. Everybody was going on the attack. Gaps starting to appear everywhere. Tomorrow, I think a lot of riders will know where they are in the general classification. There will be a battle, because behind Wellens there's still a battle for second and third position. So there'll be a battle for the podium, second and thirds. But who's going to win the stage? You've got to remember there's a lot of teams in this race that may walk away with nothing. Ethics Quick Step tried something today with Alaphilippe, but never worked. He never had the legs, but they have got their stage win. But there's a lot of other teams in this race that want to try and win the stage.
Well, they're going to be coming home about an hour late today. I guess you can't account for the weather, or indeed the demeanour of the peloton. Riders won't be bullied, excuse me, and occasionally they'll just wait for their attack points. And when it came, it seems to have been emphatic by Tim Wellens, as you can see. And despite the fact that Van Avermaet has got an ally here on the chase in the form of Geschke, it's all too late. 3.6 Ks away from taking the lead, and I think taking his second title, albeit with one stage to go. 12 sections of pavé tomorrow. It's a shorter day than Flanders would be, 188.6 kilometres though. It's going to feel painful at the end of what has been a very, very busy and technical race.
Yeah, and the rain has played its part in this race as well over the last couple of days. Just seeing the distance Slagter and Bakelans, will they make it across to Van Avermaet and Geschke? Van Avermaet just thinking about time. He's got an ally now in Simon Geschke. He's already picked up 6 seconds, but he desperately wants to try and keep on to maybe second and third, take some bonuses at the finish, and try and keep that second place in the overall for now.
Little game of chess going on here. The great and the good waiting to welcome Tim Wellens. I'm sure it does include a bishop. We'll see. 2.7 Ks only remaining of the day, and just look at the rooster tails being kicked up by the wheels. It's wet, it's miserable, but believe me, it'll be a very warm finish for Tim Wellens. Here he is, and I just hope that he stays safe on the approach. He's got 53 seconds. He knows what gap he's dealing with, and I don't think anything's going to deny him. He's going to keep it safe, keep the line safe on the way in, and he's nearly there, Brian.
Yeah, he certainly is. The young man from Belgium, 24-year-olds, burst onto the scene a few years ago by 10th in the Tour of Beijing in his first major World Tour race, and came back after winning this race last year. Maybe a surprise to many. Went on the attack in this stage, took the jersey, hung on when it was Dumoulin that was leading, and likewise the Dutch time trial champion never managed to hang on to that leader's jersey, like today Kelderman, the Dutch time trial champion. was pretty much on his own doing all the chasing, and when that happens, you can only chase so many. And he loses the jersey to the young Belgium Tim Wellens. It's who's going to finish second and third now. You can see Schlachter and Bakelands still holding the gap to about 10-15 seconds behind Van Avermaet and Geschke.
When you look at Tim Wellens, he looks like his seat post may have slipped ever so slightly. He has it set reasonably low, and it keeps him compact, it keeps him out the wind, and it's about energy preservation, and that's what he's been about today. 1300 metres now, a Flamme Rouge beckons, and it can't come soon enough for this man, or indeed for the crowds who've braved the elements over the last couple of days, and it's all credit to them. We are essentially the heartlands of cycling. When you bracket together all of the classics and at least get them represented on a stage race such as the Eneco, it's a great race, isn't it, this?
It is. You know, it's taken him a few years. Before, it used to be more for the time trialists. Now it's more for the attacking riders. Yeah,
it's great to see the classics men really having their own stage race, essentially. And that's what Tim Wellens has found. He's also found glory, and he's found it here in Houffalize. The marker's counting him in. And it looks like we've counted the crowd out today, Brian. I think they're watching this in the bars, and I'm not surprised.
Yeah, once we get into town, you see a lot of them, but it's not too cold. The Belgians love their racing. I'm sure when he gets a little bit further into town, he'll see a good, appreciative crowd.
Sure he will, and our own appreciation. Many of you on Twitter as well are appreciating exactly what he's done. Susan Wolf, Peter Moss, Alistair McIntosh, and the like. Fairly Jenner said, should be an exciting one today. Well, Bridie, not the most exciting by the end, but certainly almost a battle of attrition. It's been taken by this man. You're looking at him now, and how much respect is he giving the corners, and hardly surprising at all. The crowds have diminished. They have decided to find a little bit of dry and warm. No surprise there. Surprise to some that Tim Wellens can do this again. Well, this is a massive prospect for the future. Watch him when it comes to the classics next year, and he's turning himself into a stage racer as well. He can time trial, he can battle. I don't know, maybe a green jersey in prospect for him one day. Right now he's heading for a white one, and he'll say thank you very much, I'll take that, and so will we. We have a new leader, we have a stage winner, and Wellens just has to bring it home tomorrow. These guys battling for second place. We've got our day's winner, we've got our leader, and how much damage has been done to themselves by the elements, indeed reaching out for glory when perhaps they should have been saving their energy. Clever, clever stuff by Wellens. He knows how to win this race, he's done it before, and I think he's won it again. He certainly won today's stage, and he has to go into protective mode tomorrow. Greg Van Avermaet needs second place today, and he needs seconds as well. If he's going to keep alive a prospect of challenging Wellens for victory in tomorrow's final stage of the Eneco. A brave, feisty ride for Van Avermaet, but he was outthought today and outgunned by Wellens. Takes second place, and a couple of seconds back comes in Geschke. Coming around will be Jan Bakelands and Tom Jelte-Schlachter for the minor places today. And in fact, there they are. Bakelands, it is, crosses the line now. Tom Jelte-Schlachter for Cannondale-Garmin. And this is about damage limitation for the leader. There is Gilbert, crosses the line right now, and our eyes drift back to that moment. 1:19 given away today, and indeed bonus seconds added onto that, so hurt heaped on the gap. Wellens is our leader, and I think our winner in waiting of this Eneco Tour. Well, BMC providing the entertainment, but Lotto have got the glory.
It's a tough day by all these riders. Still another tough day tomorrow. This young man still looks refreshed, and what a win it was. I can remember in the Tour de France, he going through a feed zone in the front group, and he actually crashed in the feed zone. Got through the Tour de France, but used that form from the Tour de France. Never done anything special there, but today he did.
Well, he allows himself a baby-faced smile at the line. No great roar of approval, no great bragging, I think, from this man. He's supremely modest, it seems. Well, his legs did all the talking today, and I'm hoping that we might have a brief word from him, although on this busy schedule we have, of course, got the Tour of Norway going on. Let's hope they've had better weather than today. Here's stage 6. Tim Wellens takes it ahead of Greg van Avermaet, Simon Geschke, Jan Bakelants, Tom Jelte-Schlachter making up the podium. Then came Philippe Gilbert in that little divorce group ahead of Benoot, Verijn, Grivko and Kelderman, who hands over that jersey. Finished 10th today, minute 17 down declared, but add on to that 10 seconds bonus to Tim Wellens, and of course strip out his deficit from yesterday, and he realised he's got a healthy lead going into tomorrow's final stage to Geraardsbergen and the Pavé of Flanders. We look forward to it, and indeed look forward to your company too. Brian, we need some sunshine. It's supposed to be summer.
Just think, are they poor people camping and thinking about going camping?
You had to do that to me, didn't you? Holiday time tomorrow night of sorts. Some brave rides out there. Bakelants looking tired. Schlachter just looking at his meters. And Philippe Gilbert left it to his teammate today in the end. They tried their best, but it wasn't good enough.
No, it just look as if Van Avermaet will be on the podium. Kelderman will be there and thereabouts, second or third. So it's a strong ride by Kelderman, having to do a lot of riding on his own. But loses that overall lead, but could still be on the podium.
A lot of hopefuls at the top of the day are finding themselves as also rounds right now. A lot of ambition has been left on the hills of this border country between the Netherlands and Belgium. Tim Wellens is our leader. He leads by over a minute, minute and 3 in fact, ahead of Greg van Avermaet. Wilco Kelderman was in the lead at the top of the day. He's a minute and 17 down. Philippe Gilbert, minute and 40. I think it's irretrievable for all bar a very select few that they're going to require a lot of guts, verve, and not a small amount of luck, quite frankly. They need lots of that if they're going to deny Tim Wellens this title. See how it pans out tomorrow as we head for Geraardsbergen, and indeed the 12 sections of pavé that, if they're wet, can be rather nasty. It was nice though for this man, wasn't it? It certainly was.